Let's get it out of the way right now. Yes, I'm a little under the weather, and yes, I bought more games. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that a couple months back I posted a video about, hey, I'm done buying games, and then immediately followed it up with, oops, I caved and bought more games. And since then, I have tried to spend less and buy less games. Now, that's not to say I've not bought anything, because we're about to show you what I've acquired over the past few months. Now, I will also say with the caveat that many of these were traded for or pre-ordered or kickstarted before I ever made that video, and I'll try and make that clear when I talk about them. But there's some heavy hitters and some expensive games in here, but I'll admit, nothing that rivals the Too Many Bones Trove Chest. So we're gonna jump right in with one of the most expensive games, and of course Draco is here. He has to be every time, and you have heard me talk about several of these, though certainly not all of them, including two of the more expensive ones on the channel, because I may have had them for a while now. One of those is Oath. This is Oath by Leader Games. This is the newest release from them. Of course, art by the amazing Kyle Farron. This is I think it's technically 1 to 6, but most people say 4 to 5 player game about politics and king-making and storytelling more than mechanics in game. And I haven't played my physical copy, and I want to so very badly, because it is, in my opinion, the most gorgeous game I own. It is absolutely beautiful. I love the production. I love everything about it. And my one play on TTS with some friends from the Discord was absolutely incredible. So I'm really looking forward to getting this, but I'll fully admit I purchased this knowing all too well that I likely wouldn't actually play it. You know that I mentioned having cold Architects to Doolin, but I also traded for the entire of the West Kingdom series, Architects, Paladins, Viscounts, and the Tome Saga, all unplayed with 2 sets of metal coins. I traded my standard edition copy of Dwellings of Eldervale. So now this is what we've got, and I don't know that this is any more likely to get played than Eldervale, but I'm excited to kind of churn through some games since I've had played Eldervale a little bit, and I know that it wasn't something that I was going to play very often, so we'll try these out and maybe move on. I already fully expect to sell these all to Doolin as well, and then only keep a copy of Architects, but we shall see what happens. Next on the list, we're going to go with a couple smaller ones before we get into some more meatier ones. D&D Dungeon Mayhem. This was a like $5 add-on for a free game or something like, or free shipping or something like that. I really don't know anything about this, but our friends Jeff and Jamie at Foster the Meeple said it's a pretty fun travel game. So we're looking forward to just trying one of these quick and easy, simple card games. I always take a dozen games to the lake when we go on the weekends and play absolutely none of them. And many of them that I bring are like the Trove Chest, for example. So I'm excited to have some of these that may get played more regularly and be a little quicker to travel with and to table. Next on the list, I've got Tony Miller's Rivet Heads. This is designed by New Mill Studios. I backed this, and this was so fun because I backed this in April, I believe, and I received it in May. I mean, it was the quickest Kickstarter turnaround I've ever seen. I think they do everything in-house. I think Tony Miller, the designer, literally stickers and labels and packages and ships everything. I honestly don't know much about this or if I'll even play it. This is one of the few circumstances where I use Kickstarter more as a support mechanism than a, hey, I want to play that game. I really like Tony Miller as a person, and I really like what he's done, and I'm so excited for Kabuto Sumo. Again, just another, hey, I want to support you as a creator kind of moment on Kickstarter. These 3 all come together, and I thought this was a stellar price, and I wanted, we'll talk about this. This is the AEG Game Night Kickstarter, which came with all 3 of these games, Whirling Witchcraft, 10, and then the Villagers expansion for Tiny Towns, which includes the cute villagers, because that was one of my complaints about Tiny Towns, is that it didn't lean on the cute theme enough. So I'm hoping this might change that, and I've heard many good things about it. Then we've got Whirling Witchcraft, which is a game about being the best witch, and I do really love the art. No real clue how it plays, but there's 3D cauldrons, and the art is just so vibrant, colorful, and gorgeous. And then 10, which is probably just another little simple card party game, but I like those. I love Point Salad by AEG, so I'm hoping that they can also knock it out of the park with 10. We'll see. I plan to play all these shortly because I think they're pretty light games, and then we'll see how they go. Okay, and I've got at least well, whatever, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got at least 7 left. 2 of them are pretty big, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in with one of those right now. You know, if you watch my video about the Trove Chest, I can't pass up a good deal, right? I can't pass up a good deal. Some of them are just too good to be true. I'll admit, this one's not Trove Chest level good, but I got Rising Sun and Rising Sun Kami Unbound for a grand total of $50, which I believe is a pretty stellar deal. And I'm looking forward to playing these. In fact, in our Discord, a couple of friends, including Doolin and I, we have scheduled an Eric Lang day, a Troops on a Map day, where in the upcoming Saturday, we're gonna meet and play Blood Rage, Rising Sun, and Ankh, and then record our thoughts and rankings on them. So I'm super looking forward to that. Rising Sun is gorgeous. And as you know, I don't talk about it a ton and I don't do it as much as I'd like to, but I do paint some miniatures. So any game that has miniatures has a bit of a draw just because the allure of painting them. So Rising Sun, absolutely stellar looking, excited to play that in the future. A couple small ones real quick, and of course you've heard me talk about these before. Skull King trick-taking game, probably my favorite trick-taking game on the market right now. Absolutely love it, or from what I played at least. Super fast, super fun, and just really zany fun, not super strategic thinking. I like it a lot for a little family party game. You've already heard my thoughts on this as well, and we hope to have a dedicated video in the future. This is Crash Octopus, a Kickstarter by Itten. This was just recently delivered, and man, it is gorgeous and it plays really well. I find it hard to just wholeheartedly recommend any dexterity game because it's a dexterity game, and that kind of one person may fall flat for the other and be a home run for the other person, but I really like Crash Octopus, both the table presence and the size of the box, the art, everything combined with a little flicking mechanism that's not a normal flick. You're using little flags. It's so cute. I love it. Crash Octopus by Itten. Viticulture Tuscany, I have not had a chance to play yet, but you saw our Viticulture gameplay on the channel, and then I did end up purchasing the expansion because I wanted to try it out, and everyone loves it and told me how amazing it is and how I shouldn't have played the game without it. So really looking forward to introducing this because we do quite like Viticulture. I wish the Tuscany edition was available on BGA because I actually play BGA fairly regularly, Viticulture, with Jeff and Jamie from Foster the Meeple. Then this was definitely pre-order. I haven't really talked about them, but the only ones I've bought since the video that I made, actually purchased: Oath, AEG, Rising Sun, Tuscany, Skull King, and there's gonna be one more, I think. The rest were all either trades or I'd pre-ordered them ahead of time. Another one that I'd pre-ordered ahead of time is Iberian Gauge by Capstone. This is kind of your entry-level train game. You may notice on the shelf behind me, I also have Irish Gauge. I was hoping to play that and then either keep or cancel my pre-order, and I never got around to playing Irish Gauge, and this showed up on my doorstep. With that being said, I'm interested to see the differences when I get to play them. I love the promise and the fact that their rules are so small and concise and on an A4 sheet of paper. I love that, and I want to play it, but we'll see. We'll see when that actually gets played. Next on the list, this was a Danielle purchase. This is Chronicles of Crime 1400. After we played 1900, she likes the setting, and as do I, of 1400 better than that even, so we knew we had to purchase this. It also has the premonitions, which were really intriguing to us. So this was a her purchase, technically, but we did buy this since our last video, and we have only played this one time, but I've said it in a past video, this is my favorite of the Chronicles of Crime at this point in time. It's definitely this by a smidgen, and then 1900, and then way below is the base game of Chronicles of Crime. I don't know why I did this, but the final game I have on my list is now over here behind everything else, but I'm just gonna pull it out and I'll explain a little bit about this too. This is Descent: Legends of the Dark. This is a co-op board game dungeon crawler with beautiful minis, and it's an app-driven or app-assisted game. You've probably seen many mixed reviews on this. I know Tom Vassell put out a fairly mixed review talking about how it should have just been a video game, and we'll see. I've not had a chance to play it. I'm very excited for it. This is another one that I got a pretty good deal on. I bought this from a friendly local game store that is kind of a subsidiary of Card House. And if you'll notice, the box, oh yeah, let me just drop everything out of there. The box is pretty beat up. And it is pretty beat up, absolutely. You've got this entirely destroyed. This is half destroyed, half destroyed, half destroyed, whatever, knocks on the top and everything. It's pretty beat up. It absolutely is. But with that being said, I was able to get this for, let me do the math in my head, like $100 flat, I think, ish, around there. I don't feel like doing exact math, but basically $100 even. The MSRP on this game is $175, so obviously I got it for a decent bit off there. And again, I talked about this with Rising Sun. Anything with miniatures has a bit of a draw. I actually, just this weekend, I haven't had time to paint, but I primed Cosmic Frog, some of Nemesis, and then the heroes from Descent I'm looking forward to getting in and playing that. I think this will be a big hit with Danielle and I sure hope so. And of course, Doolin and I. So now that my voice is getting scratchy and dry and the dogs are barking and the cats are getting hair everywhere, this is what I have purchased since our video talking about I shouldn't buy any more games. I do want to have the caveat that I have sold and culled a lot as well. It's not to say it's been an even trade or that I should use that as an excuse, but it makes me feel a little bit better. So let me know down in the comments how I need to organize my shelf, because if you see it right now, it's all out of sorts. Things are everywhere. I don't know how to organize, especially when I keep adding things. And of course, this is not all the games I've acquired. I should reiterate, these are all the games that I've purchased or trade for or whatever. We are still receiving some copies from publishers and whatnot that also require room on the shelf. So it's getting difficult to figure out how to organize this, but we're gonna figure it out. And if you have any recommendations, let me know down in the comments. Also, I don't plug this very often, but please join our Discord if you want to chat. It's a lovely popping community right now. And also, if you enjoy what we do and just want to say thank you, please like the video so other people can see it. And we also have a Patreon link in the description if you want to support our future videos. We would appreciate it so very much. We appreciate you all just the same though. Thank you for watching, commenting, liking, and supporting our channel. It means a lot. And I'm so sorry that you had to listen to my sick voice this entire episode.